Hello YouTube. So I'm making this video for anybody that's having trouble with the new Google Sheets. They changed the version right when I got interested in using it, and I figured out how to use it. But I wanted to go over a couple information because someone has made a video like 2 days before this about this, and they pointed out some stuff that I didn't know that I was going to be skipping over if I was talking about the new version. And then they also got some things, I'm not saying wrong, but she's using it in the different type of capacity than what I am, and so it does, a lot of the stuff doesn't apply. So the video I'm talking about is this girl's how to use Sheets API in Unity ? And so we're gonna go over some of the problems with the way that this one was presented. One, the .NET Quick Start is not actually, this sample code is not actually how you would be using it in Unity. Second one is I will be linking this too, but if you're downloading NuGet and you're using Mirror or MLAPI or any of the, I don't know about Photon, I've never used Photon, but I do know for Mirror and MLAPI, they use the newton.json, and so you're not going to be able to use this. Well, you're going to be able to use it to an extent, but then you're not going to be able to use your project because you're going to have conflicting newton.jsons in your project. And so I'm going to go over how to fix it, and then just make this all a lot easier. Okay, in order to make it, so let's pretend you download NuGet, okay? The way that you're going to use NuGet is you're going to download the apps that you need. Now, the particular ones that you're going to need for this, as you can see, I've already gone through this, packages. So see the newtonsoft.json, and if you go into lib, mine is empty, okay? It has the notes for it, but the rest of this is empty. I deleted the newtonsoft.json.13.0.1, okay? And the reason I had to delete it is because MLAPI already uses newtonsoft.json. So Unity has started using and supporting JSON as of, like September of this year. And so if you download this when you're getting your new entities and transport stuff, that it's loading in to work MLAPI. So you can't use two versions at the same time for obvious reasons, because it's not gonna know which directory to follow. And so you're gonna have to delete this. Well, if you delete it from here, your Google packages aren't gonna know what to do, and the newtonsoft.json isn't going to work anymore. So the way that you fix that is after you've downloaded this and you've downloaded you got to download google.api apis whatever, just the basic one. You got to download the aps.authentication and the aps.core. Now you can write google.aps.core, or you can simply, in the search part of your Newtonsoft NuGet, just type in Google, and then even just Google Sheets if you want, and all of these should pop up. So it's the Google Sheets, the core, the authentication, and the APS basic one is all the ones that you need, okay, for you to work the version for Google, okay? So after you downloaded it, you're going to have to go into your actual project, and you're going to have to go into assets, packages, no, one second, I was actually already in it, here, packages. Okay, so you go in on your desktop, you go into your main folder that you're for this project, and then you just go into packages, okay, and then you see this manifest. You click on it, you open it up. This will work on, it opens up on my other monitor. Let me just drag it over. Okay. So here you go. This is your manifest.json. So this is saying, this is actually telling your Unity all the dependencies it has. Okay. And then on the very, actually, I guess it auto updates the, it actually auto updates it. So on the very bottom, after you download your Google part, your NuGet, see this. Where is it? It said 2.2. This is not going to be here. com.unity.nuget.newtonsoft is not going to be there. So this JSON thing, you're going to have to copy and paste the 2.020 because that's the version, unless your MLAPI specifies that it is using the up-to-date version, but mine was using 2.0.0. So then on the bottom, you would create a comma, okay, and then you would type or paste that it's using this dependency. Then, if for extra measure, if you want, you can go into my package manager. I'm explaining all this because there's a lot of people asking about this, not just me. And then you actually can add it via that name so the exact thing that's in here, the com.unity.nuget.newtonsoft.json, you can actually copy and paste this after you've copied it from my thing, just this part. And then if you put it, oh wait, what am I doing? Here, copy, just so I can show you how it works. And then you go into packages, add by name, and then if you paste it, add, right? It shows it, see? It's added correctly. Now, the reason this is so useful is because not only will this update it, but it'll also validate through your manifest because you've actually added it, right? And then what you do, because you've had these downloaded and you have this on your dependencies, you simply go to the packages, go to the JSONsoft, go to the lib, and then go to the net standard, and then you delete the DLL. So this will break the Newtonsoft from working in your Windows, but so far as I found out, there's no way around that because it's just conflicting dependencies now that MLAPI is being supported, and Mirror does the same thing. So if you're using Mirror MLAPI, until they update that, there's no way to stop it from conflicting. The best you can do is change the dependencies so this way at least the add-on DLLs will work in the packages, and then you just delete this DLL once you're finished downloading the assets you know you need. And so if you're just using the database stuff for Google, then it's just these basic API, Google APIs. All right, so that's the first part, and that's something that she didn't go over, so that's why this is really important, because it will not work if you just download from the links that she sent. Doesn't work, especially if you're using MLAPI or you're using Mirror or some sort of multiplayer engine. Well, I shouldn't say engine, but like networking management or whatever, so a high-level transport, basically. And then the other part that she went over, like I said, that wasn't exactly accurate, was this code snippet for .NET will not work via Unity to the scope of what you're going to need it for. And in order to fix that, you don't use this one. Like I said, it's just the wrong link. You would go over to here. This is I'll get into this in a second, but it is actually kind of important. Okay, so you go into guides and you go into the API, and you don't go into the AV for any of this. You go into read and write values, or you go into the Sheets for Developers, and then the Sheets API, which I'll leave a link to this, and see how it has like spreadsheet values and the spreadsheet sheets. If you're trying to get a specific thing, right, overview, copy to, get, which you're just trying to get the values on a certain sheet, you drag down this, okay, And down here, they specifically have the stuff that you'd be using in your IDE for, like, let's pretend Unity. And now there's a couple issues with this, so I'm gonna have to optimize this, but this will work if you see here in my Unity for my database thing, which I don't know if I should. I need to. I didn't really add too many of my personal stuff yet. So as you can see, my skill table get, which is I'm calling it, and my string of arguments, this all works. It doesn't throw any errors, and I can debug.log it, and it'll write out the response as a toString, and then you just put that in debug.log. But it'll just give you kind of nonsense information. Well, the reason you have to do it this way, and if you do manage to find this, which I stumbled across, is the little bastards, the little sneaky fuckers at Google, don't want you being able to get free databases through them. So the whole reason they made version 4 is because they want to monetize it. If they monetize through v4, right, and you use their API, they can track through your API key every call that you make. And then that way, if you try to publish a game, they can be like, hey, give us our money. Or like if you go check, you can upgrade to different levels. So you have different calls per minute. So basically, the whole reason they made v4 is because v3 was just a free service. And anybody that can convert it to JSON, read the rows and columns, and that was it. And then you could have basically a free database. Well, we all know the way that billionaires are. And they're like, oh, no, we got to get our money out of the little man. God forbid indie artists try to make a free game. So, yeah, they made v4, and this whole thing has literally just been optimized to get money from developers. If you read through the whole documentation, holy shit. They're like, we want you to pay for the service, and then if you make X amount of money, we get a fucking it's like a 5%, 10% of your fucking like, are you shitting me? God damn. Like, AWS is just a flat fee. So what I would recommend, even if you're watching this video and you listen to the whole thing and you do these instructions so far, don't use Google Sheets for your full game. Use it just for the testing phase, like the alpha. And then what you would do is you would just use the HTTPS or the calls, and then you would create a copy to function or void if you're C# to your AWS or whatever database you're using. That's just a paid flat monthly fee, so they don't try to charge you fucking percentages like what Google's trying to do. All right, and so if you copy this, right, and you get this, it sends back row in data, okay? But the issue with this is it doesn't actually specify what row and what column. It just says what's in a column or in a row. And so it runs like this, but it never specifies row or column count. And the reason they're doing this is this way you can't grab it through code, because in the old version, version 3, the JSON file had that money sign, ARTSB, whatever the fuck it was, and then it would be like 1, right? Or like A1 and then A2, whatever it was. Well, those are how you could index through Unity. So you'd say like if this equals A, and then you would put like I, okay? So A and then plus I. So you would do a for loop in I, and then if I plus was equal to 100, then it knew that in code that it was on A100, right? And so that's how you could get Unity to index for you. You can't do that anymore. They completely removed that functionality in v4, and so now it's simply use our API, pay us money, and if you don't, then you can't use anything. So yes, but this is still the only thing, even in a small scope, that I know of that's still free. So I guess we just gotta put up with it until a new service comes along. And so yeah, you don't use this because though it'll read on, for example, oh yeah, wait, it's where did I put it? Oh yeah, here. So oh wait, never mind, this isn't it. Nah. I deleted it. I deleted the tab crap. But yeah, this is if you try to use v3, right? It'll say this API has been turned down. You can't use it anymore. But yeah, it doesn't work at all. So I just have this up for the point of the video. But yeah, this doesn't actually work for the scope of being able to grab and read information structured. It just gives a flat set of values that you could kind of return, but you can't return by indexing. It's hard to explain. It's really fucking annoying, really. And so then you have just their way of doing it. And then the only other thing that I should go over quick in regards to her video and then my stuff after that is when you go to console.cloud.google.com and you make your account, just make it as a service account. The authentic, I mean, she kind of goes over it, but it's not super clear. Just use service, and then what happens is this way, you're not telling Google that you're trying to write people's emails and you're not trying to log their information every time there's a change. So basically the way that normal Google is one of the ways that they are trying to stop because there are people that are ripping v3 by simply opening up the web page, right, the Google Documents, and then running an algorithm to convert that table into JSON, right? So that's still technically possible by using a third-party converter, but the issue is now that's only for read-only. So if you're trying to write onto it, now what they do is they have a hidden OAuth, and that requires a Google account to sign in. Well, unless you have the OAuth API put into your code, they'll just give a error that's saying you don't have permission or whatever the fuck it is to edit this through JSON. So that's how they got around to people being able to do it for free that way as well. And so basically, your only option is to just do it through, like I said, their API. But the best way to do it is just to make a service account. Here we go. So see, I have this service account. This doesn't actually matter because this is password locked to my account anyways, and so yeah, whatever. But so you'd have to create a service account, and then this service account gets authenticated through my Google just once through my API key, which I'm not going to show you the whole one, obviously. And so this API key works as a key to my service account and acts as a key to be able to read and write information that's service related. So when you're adding credentials for a service, you have to make sure, here, let me, oh wait, I think it's automatic now. No, I don't want to use this key. Okay, trash, I don't need this API. Just use the first one. Okay, so I can't actually do this anymore because I've already created all the credentials I need. But yeah, so you would say that you're not, the reason that you're using the API is not for the user, so you have to click the second option. I can't really explain it without showing you, just sadly, and I don't have another Google account to show. So then when you actually download this, last thing, and then I guess I'm just going to stop. So if you read and write values and you're on the sheets.apisguys.value and you want to write stuff, all of this right here is all in Java, JavaScript, AppleScript, Python, Ruby. So you can't use any of the base stuff for this. You have to go to the API reference res.v4. So as you see, this is completely different. Okay, so it has to be in the values for the version 4. That's another thing, but I'll be copying this anyways. So let's go over how this works, and then the next video after, and then this is it. I'm done after I go over this. But so let's pretend we're trying to get credentials. We have to get credentials through one of the prerequisite ways, but I'm not going over this yet because there are different ways to do this because I've been reading up on their documentation. All of this is mostly for read-only, but since you're getting the credentials, it would be okay to just do the authorization through spreadsheets. That's fine. And then when you're actually writing in the other information, you put your spreadsheet ID, so the link in there here, and then the range is going to be this. So one of the ways that you can do this is I'm going to make a for loop that copies over the data from the range and adds it to a Unity to like read through it. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a range X and a range Y. So X and Y, so for columns and rows. So rows and columns, I mean. And so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just be like, if range X, dot value is equal to the playFab ID dot value, because that's the first thing I will always check is the player IDs. That's what you should always check in a database too. Then I'm going to start going through the value dot X. Now I'm going to go through the rows. And then that's how you copy over the data. And you specify what type of data it's going through, because I'm doing the skill tables. And then what you do is you'll make a function, okay, in your actual, where is it? Server connector. On your actual network manager, okay? And on the network manager script, you're gonna make like skill, see how it says net skill updater? This will also be used for creating new skills. And the reason is this entire class will be hidden under version control and basically just if is a server. So that means you have to use a server built in Unity, or this code won't show up. The reason that's really useful is because you want the server to be the only thing that can create values, but you don't mind if the client stores the values, because as long as they're read-only values, well then who cares? Because the hacker or someone that can expose their own files, all they can see is the values written, but they don't know how or don't have the ability to write the values. So that just means any writer functions or voids, you have to write class hidden on your server objects. Okay, well, there it is. So next episode, I'm going to be going over my solution to how to get through the X and Y's or the rows and columns on a particular table using Unity logic. So this way we can break it down and actually use it into information that we can write and we can use. And then when we're writing values, we have to use the special type of authentication through the Surface account, right? And I'll be explaining that as well. And then we'll just get it to where I'm grabbing these player values in skills, like the names and the is locked variables and stuff. And then if that goes well, I'll make a couple more videos when it comes to like how to queue saving when you have things like a usage limit per minute, like what Google Sheets has. So obviously we can't save anytime data changes, right? At least not in the alpha, because then we're going to be going over our 100 requests a minute, especially if we have like 1,000 players. So the way that we can do is we can keep a global count queue of the responses that have been made and the time that's elapsed on our static network manager, or we can do it on the clock, actually, on the static clock that I made. And then what'll happen is it checks this number, and then after an amount of time has decayed, which is 1 minute, it'll reset the value or lose the value, because I don't actually know the way that Google API tracks it, right? They could make it 1 minute is 100, and then after 1 minute you lose a queue. Like, it depends how greedy they are. I don't know how greedy they are yet. I'm hoping it's 1 minute and then they refresh. Okay, so we're gonna hope it's 1 minute and refresh the whole 100. And so then that means we just wait a certain amount of time. I would say like per client,
should probably be trying to save every 90 seconds automatically, and then they'll check the queue count. And then if not, it will move them on top of the list using their player ID and the queue. And then after that queue count is refreshed, the first 100 people on that queue crest will have all their information saved to the database. It's kind of slow and it's kind of messed up, because theoretically, if someone force quits or the game hasn't notified them that they've saved all their data and they just log out, the progress they've made in the past couple minutes might not be saved. This whole V4 is so greedy. I don't even want to get into it. If I had another option for free, I would not be using it. Like, that's how much I do not like how they went with this update. Like, it is beyond fucking limiting now, and it's so greedy, like mind-blowingly greedy. All right, well, that's enough of me ranting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll be leaving the links, specific links for this down below, as well as the manifest.json override that I mentioned earlier. And like I said, you have to get it through your desktop file, and it's just like I watch it, hopefully. And then, yeah, you shouldn't have any problems if you're using MLAPI or Mirror. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And add me on Patreon so I can get a proper database for this project.